Hi guys, welcome to India today. It's my pleasure to have three of you today for a conversation.
Thank you.
It's our
Thank
pleasure,
you.
Nirali. Thank you for having us.
Yeah. Before we start off this conversation and talk about Mukhbir and more, I want to say that the trailer of Mukhbir looks really exciting. When I watched the trailer, it came across as a very thrilling story. We are going to see the story on 11th of November, but the trailer itself is a glimpse of the exciting story that lies ahead of us. I want to know what's the response been for you guys personally.
The response has been overwhelming. I think we've hit a huge number of views on YouTube in a very short while. And I mean, Zain and I were in Amritsar actually when our trailer launched. So, we kept getting feedback. Okay, so views, people are liking it, people are commenting. I mean, I've been getting calls. I'm sure we all have been getting calls, messages from people saying that it's looking great. So I think we're very, very excited, completely overwhelmed by the response. So yeah.
Yeah, it's actually been pretty
Yeah.
overwhelming actually. A lot of good things to hear about the trailer, and I think it's always good because the trailer is supposed to create that excitement for the series. So and it has sort of hit that mark. It has achieved that. So it is a good start, to say at the least.
What about you,
To
Zoya?
me, I got the best response ever. My best friend saw the trailer and she said, "If even if you weren't in this series, I would still watch it. It's so good. It is
I am
that
best
good."
friends with your best friend now. Who's your best friend?
So she said, even if you were not there, I would still watch it. It's that good. It's amazing. So that to me it was
Yeah,
the
that's
best
a
comment
good-
I could ever receive.
Yeah.
But also, when you guys first heard the script of Mukhbir, and what were your initial thoughts about this subject, and what made you say yes to doing it?
Zain?
Yeah, Nirali, can I be honest with you? Which
Yeah.
guy actor does not want to play a spy?
True that.
True.
I think after Razi, and I think
Yeah.
it's every actor. It's not just a guy or a male
Hmm.
actor or a female actor. It's like everybody would want to take up such a role, and then for a story to be inspired by true events, for
Yeah.
a story to be well written, to be directed by a person who is really adept at this genre and as a director nonetheless per se, it was a no-brainer. I mean, I felt uh, I that this is one of those roles that you sort of dream of, that you look forward to, given the graph that it has, given the storyline it has, the fact that also because of the number of other leads and characters there are in the series, it's so well balanced that you at no point feel that, oh my god, it's going to be, it's entirely on this one protagonist. No, it's such a nice human story, and which involves so many different storylines that you even while reading are engrossed by, um, with all the different plots that there are present. So it sort of, while challenging you, it also relieves you that the story is very well carried by all the elements present.
Absolutely. What about you, Zoya and Barkha?
To me, I think there are so many factors. Firstly, the whole point of it being set in the 60s. I'm an old school old school girl, and I really wanted to play a character that is, one of those. But having said that, it is not, the stereotypical 60s girl, how people would imagine it to be. It breaks the boundaries. It shows, it's like Zain said, it's human
Yeah.
side. It's the human story, of the people in that era. And to me, of course, the story, the script, it was just so gripping. The whole series being set in the 60s, that was very, very interesting. But Jamila's character is something that I have been dying to do, something like
Yeah.
that. It has so much depth, graph, layers to it. She's a girl, she's a fierce girl from the 60s. Once you hear, okay, the character's a 60s girl from the Pakistan, you imagine something else. But when you see Jamila, she is nothing like that. She's fierce. She's this young girl who wants to, fight the right from the wrong. And, she holds her moral values to the highest standards, of course. But along with that, she's, totally speaks her mind, is just
Yeah.
free, so liberated. So that was something really refreshing to see, that side of it. So to me, it was, and of course, working with our director, Shivam sir and Jacob, sir,
Mhm.
both of them, it's a dream to work with them. It's been written so
It's been
well
a dream
by
come true
Karan.
for you, Zain and Zoya, both of you.
Absolutely, absolutely. I was, and I
Absolutely.
have been, been called up a lot of times for the look test, and I
Mm.
kept going and I kept going. I was like, God, please, I want this. I need this. I was like, no matter how many times you call me, I will turn up because this is something I really, really want to do, and I'm very happy with how it's come out.
When
So.
something like that,
Yeah.
when one actor cracks something like that, now where you keep going to the look test and you keep going to
Mm,
the auditions,
mm.
that feels even better. You know,
Yeah, like you want me?
it's
You
like
want me? You sure?
yeah.
So yeah, very interesting. It's been a good journey so far.
Looking forward to that. What about you, Barkha?
Well, I think pretty much in line with what Zain and Zoya have said.
Mm.
Yes, of course, the story, a director, the whole plot, the characterization of each character. I think it all just came together like really perfectly. It made sense, whatever I heard of it. I was the last one to be cast. I keep saying that I was the last one to join the team, really. I did not have to do any look tests, which was scary because all I had to do was go and meet Shivam sir and
Yeah.
Jayabrat sir, both the directors.
Mhm.
My producer, also the writer of the show, is there. And I'm in a room with these 4-5 men who are just talking to me, and I can see Shivam sir is just looking at me. He's looking at me talking. He's probably, looking at my mannerisms, and he's trying to figure out, is this Begum Anar for me? So I don't have the opportunity to really, look the part, audition, say my lines. I didn't get that chance, and I was like, okay, this is it. I'm talking to him right now, and basis this, he's going to decide whether I can be Begum Anar or not.
Yeah.
And it took a couple of conversations with him for him to be convinced that okay, she could be Begum Anar. But I was very excited about this because I'm extremely fond of the spy thriller genre, and I always wanted to be a part of it. I would have loved to play Zain's part, but
Well,
I'm glad I'm part of such a great show. So yeah.
That's true. That's great to hear from all of you that you guys are glad that you did the show. And I mean, you guys have put a lot of hard work into it, and that will be paid off very soon. But my next question is, since the story is inspired by true events, what went into preparation for your respective characters, and how well prepared you had to be so that, your part is justified?
So, okay,
Zoya?
I was only
Yeah.
inspired by true events.
Yeah.
The characters are fictional.
Mhm.
They're also inspired, maybe. Like my character is completely fictional. I'm not sure about Zoya's. My character is completely fictional. I think some of the characters, Zain's essentially, I'm assuming, it's inspired by people, by real spies or Mukhbirs that our country has had. But yeah, as far as I was concerned, because it was a completely fictional character, what I had to work on was I was playing a Pakistani, woman.
Yeah.
From that era, like Zoya said, from the 1960s. A lot of Urdu was involved. A lot of, saying things the right way, the right pronunciation was involved. The look, the mannerisms, the attitude. Those are some of the things I had to work on, but I didn't really have any, benchmark or comparison because, like I said, it is a fictional character. So I just had to listen to my directors and, the writer, and, they're the ones who created Begum Anar, and I had to go by their vision, and I just put myself in it, and that was my preparation for it. So yeah.
How did you prepare, Zain, for your character?
Very honestly, a lot of preparation came from the script itself. The script is, the graph as such is so well defined that I had to, obviously I'm one of those people, and I suppose a lot of other actors are as well, but I particularly take a lot of put a lot of time into my script. So I want to read a script 5-6 times at least before I start a shoot. That really helps me sort of get into at least the mannerisms of my character. And then of course you you form certain memories of the character. You have certain chats with the director about how it has to be, depending on the place that you're coming from. Harfan comes from Old Delhi. He is
Yeah.
street smart. He's quick on his feet. So he has to have a certain way of talking. It can't be posh, it can't be polished, but it has to be charming. So it has to be clever. He has to sound witty while not sounding educated. So all those factors, keeping all those factors in mind, you sort of put the mannerism into it. Fortunately, I've lived in Delhi. I have spent a lot of my formative years in Delhi, so I had a good understanding of how they sound while speaking in Hindustani. Not exactly Urdu or Hindi. They speak Hindustani, but there's a particular sound. But then again, you have to go back to 60s. So a lot of 60s content has to be watched, and you have to take out a lot of the jargon that we have today, that
Yeah.
we sort of the way we speak. You have to look. You don't. You. For example, I remember while doing a certain scene, you will see. I'm drinking chai the first time. It was the second or the third day of shoot, or drink water actually. And Shivam sir walked up to me and he didn't say anything. He didn't give any instructions. And Barkha sir is standing there as well. Let me see, tu harfan ban ke pani kaise peeta hai. So, and I was like, yes. I mean, so, those little tiny things, the details have to go into. Apart from that, the fact that, again, to reiterate my point, if a series is so well written, it makes a lot of your job easy. Credit to Weber as well, as he wrote the dialogues very well. And to the extent that I remember Zoya and I sitting, Barkha was not in, I remember by then. So and Zoya and I were doing readings with Weber present, and he would hear how we talk, so that he forms sentences and punctuates those sentences in the manner that we sort of speak. So all of that helps as well. So it's very important that I say this, that preparation is not just an actor's job. An actor can prepare in isolation and then turn up in a world very alien to him or her. Because at the end of the day, you're entering a world created by the director according to his vision. So while that preparation was going on, Shivam sir, Jayprad held our hands. The writer was there constantly to guide us through. And that whole thing reflects into ultimately what we have depicted.
That's true. What about you, Zoya? What kind of work did you have to do for your particular part?
Well, Zain will tell you how I prepared for my character.
I'll tell you exactly how she prepares before she takes this on. So Karan Oberoi, who's been extremely involved in the process as a creative producer as well, we get asked before every reading session and before every shoot. So what do you think Zoya ate? So Jamila ate in the morning for breakfast today.
So where did Jamila study? Where did Jamila? Because I literally ate his head. And he gave me all sorts of information picked up from everywhere. But honestly, my preparation, like Zain said, it's written so well that, it does the job for you. But having said that, it's a story about real people from the 60s. I couldn't watch, any films or anything from the 60s because that shows the filmy side of it. But this is about real people. So having that right was a little difficult, but I thought Jamila and Zoya we have very similar qualities, that I could take from myself and put it to Jamila. And vice versa as well has happened. But I think, it was just written well, and then working with our directors, they explained it to us so well. They worked with us on each and every scene. I remember like how Zain said we used to, do our readings, and on the spot the scene we used to kind of change a little bit, thoda bahut aage piche karte the, and then what is working, what is not working. So they would really help us, the writers and the directors, to mold us into the characters. And somewhat, of course, we got it with ourselves, and some of our qualities definitely came and seeped in through the character. But yeah, it was a fun experience to, just be Jamila. I would say that.
Great. Yeah. But what are the fond memories that three of you created on the sets of Mukhbir? Something that you would like to share?
What are your what?
Fond memories from the sets of Mukhbir.
Fond memories. Oh my God, I have so many fond memories from the set. We used to have a blast, and just a lot of laughing around, nonsensical laughing around, which has no sir pair. And that is my best memories. I don't know why we were laughing, but we would laugh a lot. So that's my best memory.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Then do you recollect any particular incident or memory that you would like to share?
Nirali, there's so many. There's so many that I've shared with these ladies. I'm right from preparation. I mean, Zoya has been there since a longer period of time, and it was just the number of readings, and then going into the shoot. There are plenty of them. With Barkha joining along in Amritsar, I remember I didn't know, and who's playing the part, and Weber one day before Barkha joined sits next to me in the car, and we're going to shoot, and that day I had to finally shoot with her. And he looks at me, he's like, I really appreciate something. It's like, and I'm also like, I wonder what's happening. I was like, what? You have not once asked me what is happening about Barkha Sengupta's casting. I was like, it's not my business.
Yeah.
When I'll be told, I'll be told. He's like, but you were not even curious who's playing. That's the part, that's the best bit, because that came really naturally. When you see the series, it's also a chance meeting, in a way.
Yeah.
I don't want to divulge too much information yet, but yeah, but
same. Just stop me from digressing.
Yeah, but
Zip it.
but the moment I saw her, I mean, it was like,
Yeah.
I mean, she very humbly said that she had absolutely no look test and everything, but the moment I saw her, I believed it. I was like, yes. That's yeah.
Like a perfect casting.
Yeah, absolutely. For both of them, absolutely. For both of them. I don't know if they feel the same about me, but yeah.
I felt you were a perfect cast for her.
We've been kind. You've said that before as well.
But Barkha, do you recollect any particular memory that you would like to share?
Well, I have mostly shot with Zain.
Yeah.
I've not shared screen space with Zoya or Adilji or Prakashji. So Zain has been my only co-star. So most of my memories from the show are only with Zain. But it's lovely. Yeah, it really has. I mean, again, first time I met Zain, first time I worked with him, wasn't sure how it's going to be, what it's going to be. And Zain and I have a very interesting equation on the show as characters. I mean, Begum Anar and her have an extremely interesting, equation. And I just didn't know how that would be, because I didn't know him as a person. But I think we pretty much hit it off from day one. And I think it has a lot to do with Zain's passion for his work. I think he makes everything very believable, so if he has to, for example, love Begum Anar, he makes it so believable, as a person, that I just reciprocated whatever he did. So I have very fond memories of that. Like there was this one time I remember I was standing with a record. Record in my hand, standing.
Yeah.
Apparently
that was my ragging, by the way. That was the first or second day. I was ragged.
Yeah, let me finish. So I'm standing and suddenly I look at Zain and I see like looking at me and smiling, and this is not drawing the shot, and I'm like, why are you looking at me? You know, but and then of course he said it's just the way you were standing with the record and whatever, you know. But those little things, you know, made me fall in love with the character, you know, and so it was very easy to kind of reciprocate the equation that he was, you know, putting across to me. So yeah, I think those little things, but he's just an adorable man.
As a you. As a you.
But guys, which particular scene from the series was kind of, you know, challenging for you as an actor to play, or maybe say, which was physically and mentally taxing for you?
Oh, I have one,
I
but I can't disclose it to you. So that you
Yeah,
have
yeah,
to
yeah.
watch the
Oh
show
my
on
God.
11.
Oh my
And that
God.
scene, I
Oh. Acha, Zoya, by the way, you know, I
What?
recently went back to the same location to shoot. And
Mm.
sadly, I've been sort of so occupied. I took a picture of that. It's nice to be occupied, but sadly, I couldn't send it to you. You know, I
Oh
forgot,
God.
but that was the exact place that she's speaking of. That is that
Yes.
traumatic, difficult memory.
Yes. Very, very. And, you know, it
Yeah.
is it was very difficult, but we both were so happy as actors to have
Mm.
performed
Yeah,
that
yeah.
together. And I could
Yeah.
I
see it
think,
in his eyes. I think
yeah.
you could see it in mine. I was like so satisfied that this went well. But it was very, very taxing to get to that emotion in that
Yeah.
short span of time. That was very, very taxing, but satisfying as an actor. So very mixed feelings that way.
Yeah.
Like
But you guys are not
Jamila
disclosing, huh?
feels, yeah,
But
Jamila
Nirali,
feels
honestly,
very like,
Essentially,
that
you know, to our story, so we can't reveal those scenes actually.
yeah, you
yeah.
can't.
Okay,
The
I can
only
give you
detail.
one secret
Yeah.
that it's in the end.
Acha.
Oh wow!
Okay.
That's all.
We will
Yeah, okay, I think
preserve
we
that.
What
can't talk too
information?
much.
What an information.
No, I can tell you something more. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I I remember after the said scene or whatever scene or whatever,
Yeah.
I remember that
Don't
Zoya
reveal too
comes
much.
out. No, Zoya comes out and she's asking people, "Ye, who's sneezing?" Or I think you said, is that what you asked? Is that who
Yeah, no,
ye cheating on what?
I heard some weird noises, like weird noises. I was like, what is that noise even? Yeah, that was Zen.
Okay.
Yeah, bawling
But
my eyes
moving,
out basically. Hmm.
but moving on a lighter note, if you guys had to be spy for a day, who would you spy on from Bollywood? Like it could be a Bollywood actor, director, or an actress.
Who would
Who would
I
I
spy on? I'm
spy
so zen in life. No, I wouldn't be a spy. I really wouldn't be a spy. Nobody would hire me because I'm like not interested in anybody's business. I'm better off as Jamila only. I think that's why they casted me.
मेरा तो नाम ही जैन है.
Stand
So
for
I,
truth.
मेरा भी यही आंसर है.
But you played a spy in the series. Hypothetically, if you were a spy for a day, who would you spy on then?
Who would I spy on? I really, I'm very much like that. I don't know if I would really take that much interest in anything. I would rather go, if I were a spy, I would rather go and achieve something else other than spying on somebody.
I think I would be the worst spy ever. I think because I'm so like messy with my hands. So all these gadgets that these spy have, I don't think I would be
Yeah.
able to like hide them properly. Or yeah, I think I would be the worst spy ever.
Barkha, what about you?
But again, yeah, I don't think I would be able to. I wouldn't be able to be a good spy, like Zoya said either. I am a little. So Zain would know. So on the set, I'm just
Oh my God.
walking on flat surface, and I will suddenly trip, You know, so I'm very clumsy.
Tripping is a thing.
Yeah, there's a thing. Like every time I would be walking
In
up
a
and
sari.
or something, Zen would be
Yeah.
like be there with her, you know, just in case she falls, kind of a thing. I just keep tripping all the time. I'm very clumsy. I would come in the eye of people instantly. So
Yeah.
I don't think I would be able to spy on anybody at all, actually. So yeah.
I think that would make you that would make people suspect you less. अरे ये तो ऐसे कितनी पड़ती है.
I can't believe you would fall off in wearing like all the sari and all the jewelry you were.
That is why.
Zoya, I thought the same thing. मुझे भी ऐसा लगा कि वो सिर्फ उन ड्रेसेस की वजह से हो रहा है. But मोहतरमा जब सुबह आती थी अपने on the set before getting ready, even then, Gola shoes and her sneakers and everything, she was tripping as well. So then I was like, no, this is nothing to do with the costumes. This is just her.
Everything to do with her.
It was a trippy experience for Barkha.
It was a very trippy
Trippy
experience for Barkha.
experience. But thank you so much, guys, for doing this conversation. It was such a pleasure speaking with three of you. And I wish you all the best for Mukhbir that
Thank
releases
you.
on 11th November.
11th
you so
November
much.
on Z5.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much,
Nirali.
guys.
It's been a pleasure.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Bye.